the things that typically I'd say shut off your cell phones, but now in the new world, I have to say, please mute your Zoom until your name is called upon on the agenda. So, and also for first-time managers, please make sure your camera is working properly so that we can see you. Just hearing you doesn't get it done. And that's not a face-to-face. So let's start with attendance, beginning to my left with Commissioner Kristen. Kristen, go right ahead.
Kristen Linder, Commissioner.
Marian Guanti, Commissioner.
Angelo DeFazio, Commissioner.
Richard Carberry, Commissioner.
Debbie Chisholm, Commissioner.
Heather Hoynes, Board Administrator.
All right, let's get it started. Request for pharmacy internship. Is Hossam Aouf in the building? Hossam? Heather, do you see the name on the screen?
I do not.
All right, we'll give it a second. Hossam? We'll come back to Hossam. Heather, if you see it pop up, just let me know, okay?
Yep.
All right, so we'll get back to the pharmacy internship at the end if Hossam joins us. Let's start then with new pharmacy applications. Is pharmacy at Blueback here? Ariana Masi Karpuk.
Hi, yes, I'm here.
Good morning, Ariana. How are
Good
you?
morning. Good, how are you?
Good. Could you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Is there any physician ownership or any healthcare professional that can write prescriptions in the state of Connecticut have ownership in the pharmacy?
No,
Is there a point of sale or a terminal or a computer that's going to sit outside of the prescription department?
no.
For the record, state your name and spell your last name.
Ariana Massey Karpuk, MASI-KARPUC.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Carberry, Commissioner Chisholm.
Good morning, Ariana.
Good morning.
Can you just have the Heather, the first slide brought up? There we go.
Perfect.
Yeah, it is perfect.
That's nice.
Yeah, so this is back from last month, obviously, because we had a little concern about the register counter. And this drawing is an excellent reconfiguration of the space.
Thank you.
We appreciate that compared to what we had last month. So this also shows, if you look at the gray areas where they've created a kind of a security roll down,
Yeah.
as well as display shelves in front of the pharmacy, which now basically sets up a barrier for anyone going through there, walking right into the pharmacy, as it was diagrammed last month. So much more elaborate drawing, a lot easier to read. We appreciate that. And everything's there. On your right, you can see the notations for the sink, the pharmacy safe, the refrigerator. Everything's in place. So much better drawing. And I don't see anything. Debbie, any questions you have?
No, I think all our concerns were addressed. Thank you.
Absolutely. Very good, Ariana. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ariana.
Thank you. Have a nice Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving
You
to you.
too.
Commissioner DeFazio, did you see that, Hossam?
I do. I
Okay.
see the Hossam's here now. I'm going to continue on with the new applications and the relocation because we're on a roll with that. And then we'll bring Hossam in just before legal. All right. So let's call Genoa Healthcare. Brittany Travis.
Hello.
Good morning, Brittany. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Could you please raise your right hand there? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Is there any physician or healthcare professional that can write prescriptions in the state of Connecticut have ownership in the pharmacy?
No.
Is there any terminal computer that's going to sit outside of the prescription department?
No.
For the record, state your name and spell your last name.
Brittany Travis, Travis.
Thank you very much, Brittany. Commissioner Carberry, Commissioner Chisholm.
Good morning, Brittany.
Morning,
Hello.
Brittany.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks. Just walk us through the pharmacy. It's a little smaller print, Heather, if you can just maybe zoom it a little bit.
Yes, a very small pharmacy. So we just have like the back Dutch doors in the back. And then we have the sink, a small counter with a printer, and the safe is also on this side. Another printer with a counter space. And then on that front wall is where the register will be with the window. And then the back wall will be all of our drug storage.
All right, so actually, it's just a window where patients will come in and be serviced right there on the left where the arrow is, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes, right in the front there.
Yeah, right in the front. So they just come up to that counter there
Mhm.
and are serviced. I think we actually looked at this last month.
Yeah.
We saw the location of all these. So I forget why we brought it back.
I was unable to attend the meeting
Oh,
last.
okay,
No,
okay,
sure.
okay.
And also, commissioners, for the record, Brittany is a first-time manager, so we're doing this a little bit in reverse order, but she will be sworn in after the presentation. So she
Okay.
is a first-time manager. Brittany, this is a one-person, a one pharmacist, one technician pharmacy,
Yeah,
and there's no bathroom in the pharmacy, right? So you'll have to leave the pharmacy to go to the bathroom. So you know
correct.
you have to shut it. I don't see a bathroom, right? Yeah, okay.
Brittany, how far is the bathroom?
That I am unsure about. I could ask our implementation team, but I'm not sure how far it is.
Yeah, so definitely something to consider that when you leave, depending on how far the bathroom is, I imagine this is a building, could be on the other side of the building, then you would have to shut it down to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
So Brittany, as a pharmacist manager, you have to be very familiar with the plans and, saying that you don't know where the bathroom is in a pharmacy you're going to be responsible for. It's not what commissioners like to hear, okay?
Okay.
Just for the record.
Sorry about,
that.
yes.
Other than that, I don't see any issues. Plan is pretty straightforward.
So do you guys shut down for lunch, Britt? Is that what?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's why there's no
The break
food,
room.
refrigerator, et cetera, right? Because you guys actually shut down.
Correct.
A lot of pharmacists, they hear that, get very upset. They're very jealous.
Yes, it is nice, a little perk, but
Any other questions for Brittany?
No,
Okay.
that's
I'm
good.
good.
Thank you, Brittany.
thank
Let's
you.
call up Barnum Avenue Pharmacy in Bridgeport. Is Mohammed Ishtiaq here? Mohammed? Going once. Unmute. Going twice. If he makes it before we vote on all of them, we'll hear him at that point. Brookfield Pharmacy Compounding. Is this 3 in a row for Brookfield on the agenda? I'm just curious. 3 in a row, 4 in a row? Is Jim Cangelosi in the house?
No, Brookfield is not here. They do not have to appear.
Right, we got that email saying that
Oh, that's right.
the agent had gone in
Thank
and there was no structural change, so they're good as reviewed by the agent.
Okay, so it's just a matter for the record to have the plan on the record, but okay, very good. So we'll still vote on it with the record at hand, with the plan at hand, correct?
For Brookfield?
Yeah,
No, because there was nothing. He was just changing the interior. So it wasn't any, and just from the other plan, it wasn't anything structural with the blueprint.
so we didn't really even have to put it on the agenda.
No,
Correct, but
Okay.
I put it on the agenda originally because
I see.
I wanted an agent to review it first, and in case they came back and said, yes, it needed to go, I want it to be on there in
Okay,
place first, but then they
very
came
good.
back
So
and said,
we won't have to call a vote for it is what I'm saying.
correct.
Okay,
right,
very
no
good,
vote.
very good. Is Barnum Avenue Pharmacy here?
I think he's
Oh, I
on.
see Mohammed. Yeah,
I
He had his
I
hand
see
raised.
him, yeah.
Mohammed, if you could unmute and put your camera on, please. All right, while Mohammed tries to unmute and put his camera on, let's go to pharmacy relocations. Brass City Pharmacy, Roy Ciar, Charlo, I would say, but Ciarlo here. Is Roy here? Everybody out shopping for turkeys today? What's going on? Is Roy here?
Apparently.
Heather, do you see Roy's name?
I'm looking on the attendance side right now. Give
Oh,
me
thank
1
you.
second.
Thank you, dear. And Mohammed, you keep trying to figure out how to unmute and get your camera up.
I do not see Roy.
You do not see Roy. Okay. Maybe Roy, okay. So we'll go back to Roy. Mohammed, are you there? I see his name, right, Heather, but
Yeah.
no mute. Okay, then in that case, what we're going to do is we'll vote for the new pharmacy applications that we were able to see, and then I'll go back to pharmacy internship. So on the matter of pharmacy at Blueback, what is your pleasure?
Motion to approve as presented.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, abstentions, so moved. In the matter of Genoa Healthcare in Waterbury, what is your pleasure?
Motion to approve as presented.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, abstentions, Genoa and pharmacy at Blueback are approved. Barnum Avenue Pharmacy is in the house, but we're going to wait until,
It looks like he's unmuted.
Mohammed, are you here?
Can't hear.
Okay,
Looks like his audio is connecting.
yeah, let's try Roy. Is Brass City Pharmacy here?
Hold on 1 second. He looks like he's on the attendance side. Let me try to get him onto the correct side. Give me 1
Boy,
second.
thank God we have you, Heather.
Hi, how are you?
There's Roy.
This is Roy?
Yep.
Okay. Mohammed, please mute your camera right now. Just mute it so that we don't hear any background music. And Roy, could you, actually, I don't have to swear you in because this is relocation. Why don't you tell us a little bit
No,
about
you do have to swear him in. You have to swear him in.
for relocation?
Yeah, just remodels. You do not.
Thank you, Heather. Roy, could you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Is there any physician ownership or healthcare professional ownership that can write prescriptions in the state of Connecticut?
No,
Very good. Is any computer point of sale system that's going to sit outside of the prescription department?
no.
Thank you very much, Roy. Commissioners?
Morning,
Roy, good morning. Do you have two laptops or a laptop and a cell phone going on at the same time?
You mean when we're inputting prescriptions or right now?
No, right now, because we're hearing an echo.
You tell I'm muted.
We have one that's muted.
Okay.
We
so
have one laptop that's
It's better
muted.
now.
Yeah,
It's better now that you've muted it. Okay. Thank you.
Volume's gotta go up. Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, we do have two laptops, yes.
All right, Roy, you want to walk us through the pharmacy layout?
Sure, on East Main Street, on East Main Street, right near the water PD. From the west, we're walking into the pharmacy to a pickup area and OTC area. Beyond that is a RX counter in an L shape. We have racks for vials. We have a sink and we have a Gardell safe. It's a very heavy safe with a punch key. There is a basement. We have a restroom in the southeast part of the building. We have storage, if I haven't said that already. We have an office room. We have HVAC, of course. And if I didn't say this already, obviously, at the entrance area, there is a waiting room. Can they hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you. You have someone else in the background. I don't know where that's coming from, but yeah, can we scroll it down a little bit? Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask a question about the basement. Is there a way to get out from the basement?
Outside?
Yes.
No, no.
Do you share the basement with anyone else, or is this a standalone?
No, it's a standalone building.
Okay,
Yeah, I did take a look at the picture on Google Earth and saw where it's located. So the important thing, obviously, you're moving this pharmacy. It looks geographically a few miles, right?
It's not that far away, maybe, yeah, 2-3 miles.
Okay. So obviously, you know the procedures to moving controlled drugs from one pharmacy to another.
Yes. Yeah.
What's your plan for closing and reopening?
Well, I don't believe we're going to be open that Saturday. We're going to start early Saturday and make the move. Saturdays, as you know, we are open 9 to 1. But I'd like to get everything moved and in play for Monday morning.
All right, so you're closed on Sundays anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll make that move and inventory in and inventory out, right?
Yes.
Verified by pharmacy.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So Roy, if you're not going to be open on that Saturday, you have to let the commission know, or you have to let DCP know that, drug control.
Oh, I
That's
know.
normally
Yeah.
scheduled, so you'll have to let them know that you're
Definitely.
closed that day. Make sure your patients know that also.
Yes. We leave notes in advance for holidays and so forth.
Okay. And what's going to be stored in the basement? Anything stored in the basement?
No.
Just want to be clear. All right. Any other questions, commissioners?
None for me.
none
Okay.
for me. Thank you, Roy.
Thank you, Roy.
Anytime, Debbie.
Thank you. Okay, let's go now back to, actually, let's approve this relocation, then I'll go back to the new pharmacy applications. In the matter of Brass City Pharmacy, what is your pleasure?
A motion to approve as presented.
And do I hear a second?
Second,
All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. Mohammed Ishtiaq, Barnum Avenue Pharmacy.
morning.
Mohammed, you here?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Mohammed. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Could you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Is there any physician ownership or any healthcare professional that can write prescriptions ownership in the state of Connecticut in this pharmacy?
No.
Is there any terminal or point of sale system that's going to sit outside of the prescription department?
No.
Okay, very good. Could you, for the record, could you state your name and spell your last name, Mohammed?
My name is Muhammad Atif Ishtiaq. Last name is Ishtiaq. ISTIAQ.
Okay, thank you very much. There's a little reverb coming out there, so let's hope it doesn't echo too much. Commissioner Carberry, Commissioner Chisholm.
Morning, Mohammed.
Good morning, Mohammed.
Pretty standard drawing. I see that on you get your front entrance. I did look this up. This is a building that you're taking over from a former church, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is a corner one. So we got the corner side of that building, and there's a next door. There's a some other. They're gonna make a shop and they rent it out to somebody else.
So it looks like the entrance was changed a little bit from the original, right? So you moved the entrance to the right of the corner.
It's already on the corner, but the thing is that to change this little bit space there, we are just moving towards over here. But it's gonna be a glass door, so we just making a not a glass door. It's aluminum. We're gonna because the door already there is a very old fashioned wooden door. So that's why maybe they little bit they could have.
Okay. I have a question on regarding behind that candy counter where the safe is. Is that
Yes.
visible from the candy counter, or is that safe on the back side of that?
Okay,
wall?
so this is the front is the candy counter, or the next door is a flip door, and there's a checkout. Then you move back, and it's gonna be behind that. Like there's a big counter on that back side of that counter. Gonna be pharmacy standing, and there's a file counter, and there's a safe counter. It is behind that. It's not
Okay, so-
the opening of the safe is from the behind, not from the front. Towards
Okay,
the
good, yeah.
candy counter.
Yeah, it's hard to see from the drawing, but it looks like, your explanation is right, behind that counter, so there's no visible sign of the safe from
Yeah.
out front. Okay.
Any other questions?
No, just make sure you've got a good security system, because you do have tenants above you. You've got, it's a 3-story building and 2 floors of tenants above you, so I assume you've got a good camera system in the
So best
pharmacy.
part is that this building has only, from our side, this is only one exit, which is the entrance. There is no back door, and there is no basement attached. So we need to secure only one gate, which is the front entrance. So we will make sure that we put the alarm system, cameras, and motion detectors in.
Yeah, exactly. A 360 camera that would catch anything coming down from above.
Yes, Commissioner. Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
no other issues.
thank you, Mohammed. Okay, so let's
Thank you.
vote on Barnum Avenue Pharmacy then. In the matter of Barnum Avenue Pharmacy LLC, what is your pleasure?
Motion to approve as presented.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. Again, a reminder, a lot of reverb today. Make sure you're muted if you're not on the agenda or speaking on the agenda. Make sure you mute your cameras and mute your phones, etc. Okay. So pharmacy relocations are done. New pharmacy applications are done. Let's go back to pharmacy internship. Is Hossam Aouf here? Did I say that correctly? I apologize, sir.
Yes, I am.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us. Could you
Good
please
morning.
raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And for the record, could you state your name and spell your last name, please?
My name is Hossam Ouf. Last name is Ouf.
Okay, so one of the traditions here at the Commission of Pharmacy, and we like to speak to our new pharmacy interns, learn where they come from, what country they come from, what kind of practice they had in their country, and what they're looking to do here in the States. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Hossam?
So I'm a pharmacist from Egypt. I've been licensed in Egypt since 2007 when I graduated with my bachelor's degree. And I've had some experience in retail in Egypt. And at a point in time, I co-owned the pharmacy in Egypt. And I then started more venturing into manufacturing. So I worked in sterile manufacturing operations for GlaxoSmithKline and Eli Lilly manufacturing sites in Egypt. And then we won the green card lottery. So we're moving over to the States. I already finished my FPGE and my TOEFL, and now I'm ready for the next step. I've been working as a technician at Westtown Pharmacy, which I'm about to start being as an intern. My wife actually just finished her part, and she's doing the law exam next week. She has been interning for the past year and a little bit. So we're a well-versed family when it comes to what we need to do to make it happen here in the US.
Fantastic. Any questions for Hossam?
No, congratulations on getting the green card lottery. I had precepted somebody in my past that went through that same process, and it's very laborious, and big congratulations to you. That's huge. You know, it sounds like you've got all your pieces, all your ducks in a row as they need to be for the next steps.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions for Hossam? Hossam, congratulations, happy Thanksgiving, and good luck to you and your wife. Just make sure you keep track of all your hours, just in case someone at the department loses it. Okay, sir?
Okay, no problem. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for appearing this
Happy
morning.
thanks.
Yes, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Great, that was great. All righty. Is the Esquire here? Michelando.
Morning, commissioners. How are you?
Thought you took a little early Thanksgiving vacation there when you didn't pop up so quick.
My
you,
video
Esquire?
button took it.
How are you, Michael?
I am well. How are you?
Good. Happy Thanksgiving to you, sir.
And to you as well. And to everyone else who's on this.
And you're here with case number 2010-280. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yes. So an older case, as you can tell from the case number. This is a case of an individual who is seeking a new license after a prolonged period of time without licensing in Connecticut because of the amount of time and because they ultimately retested. They are looking to get a new rather than reinstatement in this case. Debbie Chisholm was a step down. We did have a compliance meeting in this case. We met with this individual. It stems from a 2010 case in which there was a joint investigation by the Drug Enforcement Agency and the Connecticut Department of Consumer Protection. This individual was a pharmacist who was investigated for fraud in the way that they were dispensing prescriptions. There was ultimately a plea deal taken in federal court. This individual was charged with one single count of healthcare fraud. They did take a plea and they did serve time in federal prison. They have long since met not only their time in incarceration, but also any of the attached requirements that were also included in that plea deal, such as probation. So at this point, this individual has had no problems legally that were related to this or unrelated as far as we know for a number of years. They have been living in the state of New Jersey. They would like to seek licensing in New Jersey as well as in Connecticut, and they intend to practice in New Jersey. The reason that this is a new application for a license rather than a reinstatement boils down to a statute in Connecticut that requires that after a certain number of years, 5 years, an individual be retested rather than reinstated. This individual did take all of the required new pharmacist licensing testing, did pass all of those tests. They put a great deal of effort into that. They've intended to reapply for some time now. And although they ultimately would like to practice in New Jersey, they've indicated that that would not be an option without also restoring the status of their Connecticut licensing. So over the last few years, they've put quite a bit of effort and work and time into putting themselves in a position where they could hopefully be here and seek licensing out again. At this point, I'll just discuss the requirements that we are seeking as we come to you with a request for an agreement to allow this individual to hold a pharmacist license again in Connecticut. The major component of this is a 5-year probationary period. This is an amount of time that we think gives the commission and the drug control division some reasonable amount of time to maintain oversight of this individual, ensure that they don't have any problems similar to what they pled to at least back in 2010. I should also note that this individual has been cooperative, very cooperative with the drug control division recently, and they were also cooperative in 2010, when this initially became an issue, there was a voluntary surrender rather than a hearing or other type of disciplinary action. So it was not a contested issue from that perspective with the Drug Control Division, voluntary surrender, and now they're seeking a new application rather. So during this 5-year probation period, of course, like all pharmacists, they would agree to comply with all federal and state statutes and regulations surrounding the practice of pharmacy and controlled substances generally. Specifically, they will also, within 60 days of this agreement, take continuing education courses in pharmacy management as well as in ethics, just to ensure they're aware of, especially given the time changes, aware of any developments and the way that these particular issues are treated. During the probationary period, the licensee also has some restrictions, including that they shall not work alone as the sole licensed pharmacist, they shall not manage a pharmacy, and they shall not be responsible for the ordering, storing, or record keeping for controlled substances in any pharmacies. Though, of course, they may perform the steps required to dispense an individual controlled substance if they're working as a pharmacist. Again, they're not working as the sole pharmacist, so they would always have some kind of oversight from another pharmacist. Additionally, they would have to provide DCP with their home and employment addresses, telephone numbers, and other contact information, and notify DCP of any change to this information within 5 days. They would also have to, and this is an important one, provide a copy of this agreement to any present or future employer where that employment is contingent on either holding a pharmacy license, a pharmacist license, or is in the healthcare industry or allows the licensee to handle, transport, deliver, order, otherwise access any controlled substances. They would also have to provide this agreement to any other state that they were applying for new licensing in. So that stated goal of someday becoming licensed in New Jersey again, they would have to inform the board in New Jersey as well. They would also have to provide this to any present employer or new employer before beginning employment. And again, under the same conditions, if it's a requirement that they hold a pharmacist license or that they may have any access or control over controlled substances. Additionally, they'd have to provide DCP with notice if there was any criminal arrest within 5 days. And violations of this could result in a summary suspension. It would also be a violation to fail to provide any of this information and the same, at the same peril of a summary suspension. And obviously it would all be grounds for a suspension or revocation if there were a violation. So at this point, this individual has come to us and has over the last over 2 years indicated many times that they're sincere in their hope to be a practitioner without any sort of impediment based on their own behavior. They have indicated that they've moved past whatever conditions may have been in place that led to this set of circumstances in the first place. They took responsibility through the plea deal and also in dealing with our agents for the activities in which they engaged that resulted in that initial case at the state and federal level. And they're hoping for a new opportunity here. And we are hopeful that with the oversight provided by this agreement, we'll have an opportunity to ensure that this doesn't become an issue again for Connecticut individuals.
Any questions for Attorney Ando?
Wow, what a journey.
So it's a long ride for this individual, yes.
Yeah, it sounds like this person is very committed.
Tremendous
being a-
perseverance.
And yeah, wow.
This perseverance. I don't think I could pass the test after all those years.
10 years later, I
Sure.
doubt it. Me either.
The only question I have is, what's the Connecticut license have to do with the New Jersey license? You kind of intimated that you have to get, he or she needs to get the Connecticut license first. Is that the case?
There was a, so just as a, even I guess more fundamental point, when this individual was initially licensed, they were actually licensed in Connecticut by reciprocity. New Jersey was the home license. So at the time at which this individual surrendered their license to Connecticut, or on or around that time, I'm not sure exactly when it was dated, but there was also an agreement to settlement agreement in New Jersey put in place. The language of this agreement indicated that they would essentially have to fix whatever issues they may have in Connecticut before New Jersey would consider it. And obviously that's a dramatic paraphrase. That is certainly not the language that was in the agreement. And then my understanding presently from counsel for this individual is that New Jersey is willing to license this individual again, but sort of has this same position that they want whatever issues Connecticut might have with this individual to be resolved first. So I don't have, from the Connecticut end, I don't have some kind of a reason through a hearing decision or a settlement agreement from Connecticut to say Connecticut has to take some action on this first before New Jersey can. My sense and understanding of it is that it's more of a decision that sort of New Jersey has made with regard to this individual.
I have a question on this though. So are you saying, Michael, that so he's going to have 5 years of probation in Connecticut. So for the next 5 years, this individual will be a pharmacist in Connecticut, or we just agreed to give the license back and then he continues to the next step of his journey with the New Jersey folks?
To some extent, I can't give you a certain answer because I don't know if he'll choose to eventually become a act as a pharmacist, be employed in Connecticut. The indication that I got from this individual and their counsel is that they intend to practice in New Jersey. They're living in New Jersey, and their intention is to stay in New Jersey and live and practice when that's possible for them. I don't know.
Years of supervision. You said if we give the license back, it's with 5 years probation in Connecticut.
Yes, and that's a Connecticut restriction. So if New Jersey wanted to give a license back and either maintain our same level of restrictions or add alternative restrictions on their own license, they could do that. This is not, obviously we can't restrict a license that he may get in the future in New Jersey.
Right.
That would be up to New Jersey.
Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure I was understanding.
Right. Yeah, but he would be, this would lead to him having an active license in Connecticut with the 5-year probation restrictions attached to his practice.
All right, that makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you. And just for clarity, Attorney Endo, the clock on that 5 years would tick after this meeting?
From effective date. So yes, it would be, if the approval would happen today, I would send you a copy for signature. It would be effective in, roughly immediately after the vote.
In essence, if everything works the way the council has represented to you, the 5 years may expire in Connecticut with this individual never practicing pharmacy in Connecticut.
Right, that's exactly. Yep.
Absolutely possible.
Yeah.
Okay, but we still have that umbrella of watch with the 5-year probation.
Right.
Okay.
And there's also, to some extent, you're ensuring that there is some kind of an awareness anywhere else as well, which I think has real value.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Any other questions for Attorney Endo? Okay, hearing none, let the record show that Debbie did step down. Commissioner Chisholm does step down in this, so she will not be voting. So do I hear a motion to accept the proposed resolution in case number 2010-280 that was presented by Attorney Endo? Do I have a motion?
Move to accept.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. The resolution does pass. Attorney Ando, any statistics or any other information you'd like to give us before our Thanksgiving dinner?
Sure. I just want to point out one thing. I don't know if it's strong enough that I would call it a trend, but we're noticing a little uptick in errors in settings where there may be pharmacists who are working off of video, or that's kind of a situation. And I just wanted to note that, and this is almost a PSA here, feel free to call us if you have questions or concerns about the case that, if you hear something from us, the circumstances, you feel like there's information you want to share with us. It's absolutely critical, really, to our mission that we're talking to pharmacists. And I think it's important that you feel comfortable reaching out to us. I know it's not always pleasant. I think if you get a letter with my signature on it, you're probably going to feel like you're not having a great day in most cases. But please don't be afraid to reach out to me and others here in the drug control division or in the legal division, so that we can have those conversations and address your concerns. And I don't mean that specifically with your particular error or involvement in a circumstance that may implicate you in some kind of an error. Just generally, we like to know the whole circumstances. We want to make sure that we're approaching the problems in the correct way to get some kind of a resolution that increases public safety. So feel free to do that. With that little increase, and I think to some extent almost the way that errors are contested, it's a little more than we're used to seeing. And I'll be completely frank, I'd like to have a better understanding of why. And so I do want to hear from people. But that's just my comment for today. And if that's useful to anyone, feel free to reach out.
Much appreciated, Attorney Ando, much appreciated. Numbers would be great too. If there's this many errors are being presented, because then it'll give us a good feel of how serious this problem is. And for you to bring it up, it's obviously pretty serious.
I don't think of it as I wouldn't call it a radical increase or something like that. It's something I've noticed. We have a handful right now. I don't have an exact number for you, unfortunately. I'm sorry about that. We have a handful right now where people are saying that they don't necessarily want to accept the error, which I don't have necessarily an issue with, because I don't know their circumstances yet. Sure. But it's unusual for that kind of number of people to be contesting cases that otherwise are often pretty straightforward. And I'm not always getting to the point where we're hearing an explanation, and so I think that would be helpful to make sure we're approaching it the best way.
Sure, and the commissioners, we talked about this before when we approved the administrative role off-site for a pharmacist, that the custody of that step could become a problem at some point. And it sounds as though the custody of the error may be an issue of, well, whose fault, or where did the breakdown more than a fault? Because we want to learn where the breakdown was so we can stop it from happening again, more than fault. But where was the breakdown and where was the custody of this issue? And I can sense that some pharmacists that may be doing it remotely are saying, well, that's not my fault. And I sense that this is becoming an issue, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a formal position on this, certainly, especially not right now. But it is, we want to have a complete understanding of how these processes are playing out and make sure that we're approaching them in a way that is actually beneficial.
Good. Well, we appreciate that. Thank you. Anything else for Attorney Ando before we let him go shopping for Thanksgiving? Anything else? Very good. Thank you, sir. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You all as well.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, Michael.
Thanks.
Okay, that was fun and interesting. Oh, now we have the highlight of our meeting. First-time managers. Okay, you can all unmute and you can all put your best smile on and turn on your cameras for us. And I'll go through my linguistic test. I'm trying to pronounce everyone's name and just say present if you're here. Lynn English. Is Lynn English here?
Present.
Oh, thank you. Caitlin Wilhelm.
Present.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, Commissioner
How are you?
DeFazio. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Angela's fine. Tien Tran. I saw Tien's name.
I will find this and I cannot.
Tien Tran. Oh, that's a nice picture of a box. Tien? Heather, do you see Tien's
Still
name?
there, still
It's
there.
Still there? All right.
Muted
Tien,
though.
pardon me?
It's, they're muted.
They're muted. Tien, you need to unmute now. Tien? All right, we'll skip Tien for now. Alessandra Rubano.
Here, present.
Here's fine. Thank you. Emma Selick.
Here, present.
Thank you. How do you say your name?
Shema.
Oh, Shema. Thank you. Ivan Philippos. Ivan, you're here?
Here, I'm here.
Hi, Ivan. How are you?
Hi.
Ileana Figueroa.
Present. Hello.
Hi, Ileana. Thomas Bittel. Thomas? Heather, do you see Thomas?
I do not. And just so you know, it looks like Tien left.
Tien left. So he
Yeah.
will, if Tien left, he will not be approved. Thomas Biddle? No Thomas? How about Adam?
Hold on.
Krakowiak?
Present.
Okay, Adam, what do you see, Heather?
Thomas is on the other side, so give me 1 second. Let me.
Very good. Work your
Hold on.
magic. Like Star
Hello,
Trek.
can you hear me?
Team member board. There's Thomas. We need to see you too, Thomas.
My video should be on. I'm not sure why it's not coming through.
All right, well, you work on that, Thomas. I'm gonna try Tien again. Tien Tran, are you here?
Yeah.
I saw his name pop up again.
Hello.
Is that Tien?
Yes.
Hi, Tien, how are you?
I'm fine,
could you-
thank you. How are you?
Good. Could you try to get your camera going, please?
Camera? Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Sorry, I have a technical problem.
Okay.
Thomas is there.
Thomas is there?
Hello, sorry about that.
That's okay. Good morning, Thomas. Tien, keep working on your camera. I will certainly allow it this time because you do have a technical problem. But just keep working on it to see whether or not you can get it up, okay?
Okay.
Well, good morning, everyone. So.
Commissioner
will-
DeFazio? Want to bring up Brittany, please?
Did I call Brittany?
No, did you? I missed
Oh,
it.
I'm sorry. That was added to the, thank you, Heather. That was added later. Brittany Travis, I know that you already were here. So are you still here, Brittany?
Yes, I am.
Thank you, Brittany. Okay, very good. Thank you, Heather. What am I going to do without you in January? Oh my God. So here in Connecticut, we like to meet the first-time managers face to face because it's a very important position, as you heard from our attorney and you can sense from meetings. It's a position of leadership. It's a position of professionalism and the culture that you create there. So we like to, the board can't possibly go over every law or regulation that you'll be responsible for in your
remember
and
that
you
one.
did know, which is the pharmacy, right? But we want to go over some things that we see. Unfortunately, you heard a story that wasn't a very nice story, but it's going to turn out to be a nice story because this person has had a second chance now. But we want to stop those things from occurring. So we're going to go over a few things that we see quite often, and so that you don't make the same mistakes, and maybe we can all learn from it going forward. So some of the common findings are hours. Sometimes pharmacies don't realize that the pharmacist manager has to work a minimum of 35 hours a week. And it's very important that your name is posted and your hours are posted, because the public needs to know when a pharmacist is going to be there. Tech ratios, as we all know, right now it stands at 4-to-1 because of the COVID expansion on the tech ratios. We're not sure how much longer that's going to take place, but in the near future, and the board will give people a long lead time and a heads up on whether or not that 4-to-1 technician ratio will change at certain times. Inventories have become a major problem, where scheduled drugs, and obviously the Schedule II drugs, where drug control agents are coming in and finding that the inventories are off. One of the pitfalls in robotics and in counting machines, perhaps they're not calibrated correctly. So you need to really make sure, if you have a counting machine in your pharmacy, or if you have a robotic counting machine in your pharmacy, that it's calibrated correctly and it's not miscounting. It's a great tool. I had 4 of them in my pharmacies, but they needed to be calibrated every once in a while for size of tablets. So keep an eye on that. And the power of attorneys, make sure you all have your power of attorney signed correctly for Schedule II drugs. And you know, diversion is a terrible word, but it's something that as a pharmacist manager, you really have to be aware of. So just create your own techniques to try to avoid any diversion that may take place at the pharmacy. It could be as simple as the person that orders the Schedule II drugs is not the same person that checks them in, right? It could be as simple as creating a system where only the pharmacist manager checks in that Schedule II drug as long as they didn't order it the night before, right? It's just to create your own little techniques to try to avoid any issues with Schedule II drugs. Be really aware and familiarize yourself with what is being sold on the street. What are the drugs that are being diverted? Everyone knows opioids, but the benzodiazepines are still diverted. Phenergan with codeine is an incredibly diverted product that you may not think of. If a teenager walks up to the counter buying 12 bottles of Robitussin, it should, you know, that's a pretty bad cough. An alarm should go off that guafenicin may be abused out in guafenicin and Robitussin parties. So be aware of what's being diverted out in the streets, and keep a special eye on those particular drugs. It could be as simple as Soma, which is still getting diverted out in the market. One of the other things that's really important as a pharmacist manager is, you know, if you're part of a big box or a big grocery store, as the manager, you're responsible for your little prescription department, right? The front store is not yours. But if you're a pharmacy manager in an independent store, or where the whole store is licensed as a pharmacy, you're responsible for that whole store. In fact, there's an old Seinfeld joke. I don't know who's ever watched Seinfeld. You guys are all too young for Seinfeld, but he always talked about why is the pharmacist stand up so high when pharmacies were elevated in the back? Well, the reason was the pharmacist was in charge of all the patent drugs, and he or she had to overlook and make sure that they had their eyes on the whole pharmacy. That's why the pharmacy department used to be elevated back in the day. So understand what you're responsible for as the pharmacy manager. Let's see here, what else? I can't possibly go over all our regulations, but there's a great CE program, a great program that UConn put together. It's at pharmacy.uconn.edu/constant state of readiness. It's a wonderful pharmacy manager slideshow that has been put together. It's great. Every time I see it and read it, I even learn something every slide. So I really recommend you looking at that. It's phenomenal. You also heard a lot about workplace environment just now from Attorney Ando. I get a lot of emails. I get private calls. I'm sure all the commissioners here have talked to a pharmacist that's very frustrated with the workplace environment. Errors could be up, maybe because of workplace environment. Maybe it's a workflow issue. We can't do very much with employer law, but we can do a lot when it comes to public safety. And the pharmacist is in such demand, and our roles have been expanded, which is a wonderful thing. With this COVID, the pharmacist plays an incredible role in immunizations in this country, incredible role. Millions and millions of vaccinations for COVID and for the flu, and our knowledge, our free knowledge base of everything that we do when it comes to positive patient outcomes. But it's up to you to understand if you're stressed, or that public safety is an issue, or that the workflow that you're involved in is at a pace that can't be kept up. It's up to you to talk to your regional supervisors, up to you to talk to the owner if you're in an independent pharmacy, or whoever is the next person. And it's really up to you to let them know that, hey, this pace is so frantic that there's a chance that public safety is an issue here. So don't be shy when it comes to speaking up about public safety. It's incredibly, incredibly important. And now I'll turn you over to Commissioner Inguante, who's going to talk about the Medwatch program. Commissioner Inguante.
Thank you, Chairman. I apologize. I keep moving around. The leaves are down outside of my house, and the sun is a little bit blinding here. But thank you so much for your time today. I just want to mention a little bit about the Medwatch. As everything Chairman DeFazio mentioned, you're in a leadership role, and with that, comes great responsibility. We like to make sure that you're as well informed, and you're going to be super busy. So the Medwatch program from the FDA makes it pretty easy for you to access. You just sign up for their emails. They push them out to you. And any kind of safety concern, potential incidents that have been noted in the field, all of that information comes to you. And it includes, everything, all the way, pharmaceuticals, devices, nutritional supplements. It's just a great, very easy, piece of information to make you that source of information for your patients. I know a lot of you are affiliated with large chains, and I'm sure they have their own methodology for keeping you current with some of those safety bulletins and updates. But again, for your own information, it's always good. As you are in a profession that espouses lifelong learning. So just a recommendation, but again, we like to make sure that you have all the tools you need to be successful. So thank you. That's it for me. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take them.
Thank you, Commissioner Inguante. Any questions from our young first-time managers? Questions for the commissioners? One of these days, I'm going to pick on people, guys. One of these days.
Commissioner DeFazio?
Yes, thank
I
you.
have a question.
Sure.
You had mentioned a link from UConn. Can you repeat that again?
Sure. It's www.pharmacy.uconn.edu / it's called Constant State of Readiness. It may be in a bucket of CEs, but you want the one that's called Constant State of Readiness. It's specifically made for first-time managers. It's really outstanding.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Ivan. Any other questions for any of the commissioners? Okay, hearing none, the only thing I'll leave you with, that if you forget everything we said, there's one thing I want you to remember, is that state policy is not company policy. And state policy will always supersede company policy. Your company may ask you or tell you to do something, or tell you that that's the policy, but if it's contradicted with state policy, make sure you know which one. Okay, so good luck to all of you. And let's go have some great patient outcomes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank
Paula.
you.
Happy
Happy
Thanksgiving.
holiday.
You too.
Okay. All right now, Commissioner Guante, back to you with non-resident pharmacy approvals.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. You all should have received your, my report. Actually, we had two late breaking ones that were added on that are not on there. Is the Santa Cruz RX from Paso Robles, California. And they're a community mail order is the service, and they were fine. So I recommended to approve them. And the second one was called Spring Meds Inc. from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Again, community mail order. And I recommended that we approve those as well. As far as the other 12 go, there's a couple that I'm recommending we deny. The All Family Pharmacy did not provide a complete pharmacy inspection report. They only gave us the first page. So we like to see everything. And then Clark's Pharmacy in Carefree, Arizona, they are requesting to provide non-sterile compounding services. And they did check off that they have a physician owner. So we're going to need an affidavit from them stating that that physician owner will not be prescribing for the residents of Connecticut. They also have some pending controlled drug violations, and they did not provide any type of a response in terms of, you know, the status of those violations. So we like to see an update on that. And then also, they did not provide us with a current 797 inspection, and they also have compounding violations noted in their last pharmacy inspection. So again, those are just questions that you know, we would like to see answers to.
So other than that, they're fine.
Well, you know, it's hard doing this as a desktop review, right? So it's best to be all inclusive when you want that approval. The essential isotopes, you know, that was kind of curious. It's a nuclear pharmacy application services they want to provide here. Their sterile compounding that they provided was perfect, the inspection. However, my question is, they're in Missouri and they want to provide nuclear compounding services here. And everything I know about that is stability is ours. So I'm not understanding how those products would get here in a timely fashion. So I have asked Heather to engage Agent Carpenter, Dan Carpenter, because he has a strong background in that. So pending, you know, again, I'm sure it's something I don't know, but I just would like to feel a little bit more comfortable with that. So that one is pending. I have another one, RX Care Pharmacy, recommend to deny because they didn't give us a pharmacy inspection to review. And then also Your Health Pharmacy, I'm recommending we deny because again, they want to provide non-sterile compounding services, but the only comment on their inspection was that they keep a log. So, you know, again, our standard in Connecticut, it's a little bit more than a compounding log. So those are, that concludes my report. That's everything.
Well, Essential Isotopes gets an A for name. That is a great nuclear pharmacy.
Is that funny? I even said that.
That is a great name. That is a great name. All right, so hearing Commissioner Nguante's report, do I have a motion to accept the report as presented?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, abstentions? So moved. Okay, very good. Now what's next? What's next? Oh, so the, I just want to stick in before the approval of the minutes, some other business. Heather was nice enough to send us some dates. Did everyone get the dates for next year's meeting? really nothing more than the last Wednesday of the month, right, Heather?
Correct. No meetings on February, July, and December.
February, July, and December. Excellent. And hopefully maybe at some point, if this COVID tick goes down again to a point where we can finally meet in person. I know I've grown a lot of gray hair since then. So, since we saw each other last. And the other thing is, I know that last meeting, I requested to put the waiver issue on the agenda. I had a long conversation with drug control, a couple conversations about this, and the reasoning is that the reasoning on the waiver is that it's just that, it's a waiver. Anyone can ask for any waiver when you really think about it. It's up to us to decide on whether or not that waiver should be used, and there's a reason to use that waiver. It did get out of hand, and it was created to have a few pharmacies fall into compliance with some gatekeeping there, with some answers to questions. It was never the commission's intention for that to be part of an application for your plan. Here's a waiver, check it off, and you'll get approved. So remember that the power is always with us to say yes, yay, or nay to any waiver that's presented to us. So this is just another waiver that has more structure to it, let's say, and there should be cause for us to approve that waiver going forward. And this is just other business and open for interpretation. I'd love to hear what you have to say. If agreement, tell me what you guys think.
So is that document though part of the usual application process? Because I think that's where we send a mixed message.
Right. Heather, they ask for that waiver, correct?
Correct. It's not part of the application.
Right. And that was one of the things that I wanted to be very clear on. And they would ask for that if they had a hardship.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And then we always, it's up to us whether we want to approve or deny.
100%. So rather than extinguishing this waiver, it should just stay in place, but it's up to us to be very scrupulous on when to use it and when not to use it.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Chairman, I have a question. So what about making modifications to the waiver, or are we accepting or denying the waiver as is? So one of my thoughts would be a waiver with a time limit. So if you have a hardship and you need to, let's say we extend it for a year, but the expectation is at some point you're going to resolve the issue. Can we do that? Oh,
yes.
Okay.
We can do whatever we want in a waiver. A waiver, and that's where the misinterpretation was for me until it was explained by legal. And it doesn't. A waiver is just that. This board is waiving a statute or regulation or something that's in place. That's the norm, and we're waiving it. We can waive the waiver. We can change the waiver. We can approve a waiver with the following. So yes, if that presented itself, yes. Like for instance, like I can't think of, but I can imagine a futuristic digital healthcare system that has to sit outside the pharmacy department at some point, and it's really positive for healthcare. We may approve a waiver to put that outside the pharmacy department, even though our statutes and regulations say it must reside within the prescription department. So that's where these waivers may play a role in the future for us. So we can do whatever we want to a waiver, including waiving a waiver. So any other questions or comments or suggestions?
Yeah, I think we just need to adhere to some type of parameter that is fair and across the board, so that we can, be above reproach as a board and not have something kind of come back that, hey, we waived it for, this person based on whatever that could be, relationships. Hey, we like that, what they're doing and not the other person. So that's kind of what makes me a little bit nervous about the waiver process, that I think it
agree.
puts us to some degree at risk.
I think we all agree, and that's why I'm making these comments now, and that's why it was an issue in the last meeting, because it got out of hand, whether it was us approving plans that we didn't see a countertop with a computer that sat outside the department, or whether it was an agent that went in and approved those plans. You're right. So is it a question of, well, the commission approved these plans, so it must be okay? Or is the agent say, wait a minute, they approved these plans, but this can't possibly be okay. I don't think this is what they meant. So that's why we ask the questions we do now on new applications. That's why we're a lot more diligent in looking at the applications. It's one of the reasons why I've asked for outlines of the prescription department in big box stores, or where the front end isn't going to be part of the pharmacy license. Let's say like a smaller independent, or the Genoas that we approve where the whole space is the pharmacy. We're getting a lot better with that because pharmacy is changing. And we can see how much it's changing. So there'll be a time where we may want to approve these types of waivers, and there's times when we probably shouldn't, as we did in the last board meeting. So I just wanted to bring that up on why it's not on the agenda, because once it was clear on the definitions of waiver, we're empowered to say yes or no.
And as long as we're consistent, we just got to be consistent going forward. That's all.
100%. I agree. And that's why I wanted to bring it up.
That's a good
Anything
point.
else for other business?
The only thing is for the dates, I do need you guys to vote on them.
Okay, Heather. I will make a motion to accept the dates that Heather has presented for the wonderful year of 2022. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, so moved. And now we'll move on to the approval of the minutes for October 27th. Everyone has them in hand. Any omissions, corrections? Hearing none, I'll accept a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, abstentions, great. And now I'll accept the motion to adjourn the meeting. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy
Have a
Thanksgiving.
lot of
Thanksgiving.
so happy
Buona
Thanksgiving.
festa.
Thanks so much.
Buona festa, Rick. Thank
Buona
you.
festa.
Buona festa. Buona festa di grazia. Thank you, guys. Heather, thank you for bailing me
welcome.
out another dozen
Thanks,
times.
Heather.
today. Really
You're
appreciate it.
welcome.
Thank you, honey.
Bye.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
You too.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.